OpenAI Dev Day, from apps to agents. ChatGPT takes a big leap. Deloitte bets big on Anthropic's Claude, even as the firm pays for a big AI mistake. The AMD stock price goes through the roof as OpenAI takes a potential ownership stake, and proof that AI has concrete benefits, a new antibiotic discovered in just 100 seconds. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. OpenAI held its annual Dev Day and packed it with announcements and new features. First, OpenAI announced apps in ChatGPT, interactive tools built directly into the chat window. At the event, Canva designed a poster for a dog walking business and turned it into a presentation, all inside ChatGPT. Spotify and Zillow got demos too, with live maps and playlists right in the conversation. These initial apps will feature some big players like Canva, Booking.com, Coursera, Expedia, Figma, Spotify, and Zillow, with more on the way. For developers, it's a massive distribution channel. For users, it's ChatGPT evolving into your operating system for the web. And this follows on OpenAI's recent announcement that it was going to allow purchases via Etsy and Shopify. Sora got some new features. Now, a lot of the focus over the past few days went into the TikTok-style feed that the new Sora 2 had, and there was some criticism leveled at the creation of AI slop. But OpenAI had a lot more to say about that on their Dev Day. One standout feature is Remix. It lets you edit just one part of a video. You keep the existing video you have and maybe swap a character or change the lighting, all without starting from scratch. And Sora 2 also syncs sound with visuals, and OpenAI confirmed that an API is coming soon so developers can use it to build their own tools. In addition, their Pro tier adds high-resolution and built-in watermarking to mark AI-generated clips and to provide a real pro tool. Then there were agents and AgentKit. AgentKit is a toolkit that lets developers build multi-step reasoning agents inside OpenAI's ecosystem. A drag-and-drop builder, pre-made chat interfaces, and evaluation tools make it faster to go from idea to working prototype, something the team demonstrated live in under 10 minutes. There's a ton to dig into in terms of how extensive these tools are and the ease with which development can happen. But either way, the ability to add your own customized apps is going to have an impact on the ecosystem of tools that other companies have developed. My question is, and it's going to take some digging, but why would I buy a chatbot or another add-on app when we could rapidly develop a custom bot leveraging OpenAI? Finally, OpenAI also previewed Pulse. It's a feature that sends personalized daily summaries based on your activity, chats, and schedule, like a morning briefing from your own assistant. There's also a feature that they highlighted, and it's been there for a couple of weeks now, that you can send OpenAI off to do research and it'll come back to you the next day with a report. I think there's more coming on this. Altman and Johnny Ives are known to be working on a new conversational interface. There is a palm-sized device that will interact with you and have a continuing conversation. But this will all come together, and it's undoubtedly part of something much bigger. And finally, for developers, OpenAI updated its models and APIs. The new Responses API combines text, image, audio, and video generation into a single unified endpoint. GPT-4.0 is faster and cheaper, and its new reasoning models, O1 and O1 Mini, boost accuracy and efficiency, at least according to OpenAI reports. It's clear Altman's plans for world domination are showing. OpenAI is clearly shifting from a chatbot to a fully fledged platform, possibly an operating system, however you want to describe it, but to more tightly integrate with other apps and to have apps created within it. Deloitte, the accounting firm, has made one of the biggest enterprise AI commitments yet, rolling out Anthropic's Claude models to all 470,000 employees worldwide. This is a huge win for Anthropic, and you have to wonder why they made the announcement on the same day as OpenAI's Dev Day, which is classic for big announcements. It's easy to see Anthropic as the 1980s Apple of AI, a small player with a passionate following, although with Anthropic, the loyal followers are coders and writers and not necessarily graphic artists. But Anthropic has over 300,000 corporate customers in its 4-year history, and Deloitte is an enormous addition for more reasons than just functionality. And Deloitte is making this a big rollout. They are deploying custom Claude personas, role-specific versions tailored for all of the roles in their firm: accountants, analysts, even developers. And each persona uses different prompts and guardrails, and this hopefully ensures that the outputs meet the standards for each profession. And the company says it's combining constitutional AI and that approach with its own trustworthy AI framework to make AI both useful and auditable. It's a big bet from Deloitte on making itself not just more productive and profitable, but demonstrating to its customers that will need help in adopting AI, that Deloitte is all in and knows how to do it. But the irony is, even as Deloitte scales up, they're still cleaning up an earlier AI misstep. In Australia, Deloitte agreed to refund part of a $440,000 government contract after an internal review found fabricated citations and factual errors in a report produced with generative AI. Deloitte revised the report and didn't blame any company directly, but there was an update with this addition. A generative AI, large language model, Azure OpenAI GPT-4-based tool chain licensed by Dur and hosted on Dur's Azure tenancy. Despite the misstep and the updates to the report and the penalty that they'll pay, Deloitte is insisting that the findings remain valid. And I have to say, this is a pretty top-notch firm. It's likely that they're still right with their recommendations. But the episode underscores how easily trust can erode when human oversight slips. With the Claude rollout, Deloitte is betting that structure and its persona system will be the road to a more reliable AI, or as they've termed it, trustworthy AI. But the reverse, the endorsement, could be big for Anthropic as it struggles to keep its prominence in a world of even bigger players. And if there weren't enough AI stories, just months after signing a huge deal with NVIDIA, OpenAI has inked a multi-year partnership with AMD to supply its next-generation Instinct MI450 chips that will undoubtedly be competing with NVIDIA's AI offerings. This deal is big. It covers up to 6 gigawatts of compute, starting with 1 gigawatt in 2026. Remember, 1 gigawatt is practically a nuclear power plant worth of power. And it's more than just a supply agreement. OpenAI gets warrants to buy up to 160 million AMD shares, or about 10% of the company, for a penny if milestones are met. For AMD and maybe OpenAI, it's a hedge against NVIDIA's dominance. But it is surprising in that OpenAI just received a $100 billion investment from NVIDIA that guaranteed new purchase of NVIDIA GPUs and made NVIDIA a non-voting shareholder in OpenAI. And this AMD agreement flips that dynamic. OpenAI is taking a financial stake in another major supplier. Not surprisingly, AMD's stock got a big boost, making OpenAI's potential stake even more valuable. Just another surprising twist in the continuing OpenAI story. My comment was, what's next? Will OpenAI join NVIDIA to bail out Intel? And finally, there's been a lot of talk about how AI hasn't delivered real-world value. Maybe that's because it's so easy to get sucked into the big deals and product announcements and not focus on the stories of AI in action. So I want to kill two myths at once. One is this idea that AI isn't generating real benefits. The second is that all of the action happens in Silicon Valley. So here's a story from a lab in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, a couple hundred kilometers away from me. At Hamilton's McMaster University, researcher John Stokes and his team used AI to help discover a new antibiotic that could treat inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's, and the initial analysis took only 100 seconds. Now, I don't know how much you know about Crohn's disease. It's incredibly painful, debilitating. About 170,000 Canadians suffer from it, and that's expected to more than double in the next decade to 470,000 or more. So finding a solution is a big deal. And part of the problem they have with treating Crohn's is that any of the compounds that they use wipe out bacteria that makes Crohn's happen, but it also wipes out helpful bacteria. The AI screened through thousands of compounds, predicting which might kill the harmful bacteria without wiping out the helpful ones. And the result is a molecule called enterololin, a narrow-spectrum antibiotic that targets the bad while sparing the good. Traditional drug discovery can take years and cost millions and millions of dollars. Here, AI cut the early search time from months to minutes, and then the scientists handled the lab validation. Now, some of you might come back with, yeah, okay, the discovery took 100 seconds, but it took the scientists 6 months to validate it. And to you, I say, check out how long this normally takes and what it costs. And the coolest thing about this story is that AI isn't replacing researchers. It's amplifying them. And that's the kind of story we sometimes miss when we only look at the hype. I'll be looking for more of these types of stories. If you find them, you can reach me at technewsday.ca or .com on the Contact Us form. And in closing, we had a mix-up yesterday where some Cybersecurity Today listeners got hashtag trending and vice versa. Mea culpa, a human error. But if you missed the show yesterday, check it out on YouTube, Apple, or any other podcast platform. It's even on our website at technewsday.com or .ca under podcasts. But if you got a taste for Cybersecurity Today out of that, we're glad to have you as listeners there as well. Final note, many of you have been buying my new book, Elisa, A Tale of Quantum Kisses. As I was preparing for a recent presentation and I went through the experts reporting on how a super intelligent AI would escape, I realized that I'd written the script for it. Anyway, in any event, thank you, whether you're listening to the audiobook or reading the print or ebook edition. Seeing these numbers climb is just absolutely wonderful. And if you've missed it, just Google Elisa, Elisa, and Jim Love, and you'll find lots of places to get it. That's it. Thanks again. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.